I like the way they dump pistols.
I'm Martha Stewart. And welcome back to Half-Life 2. Go! Wow. This, right here, is a giant metaphor for what happened to this episode.
Yeah, really, it is.
See, we use this audio editor called Crystal Audio Editor. This is a little commercial for them. But don't worry, it's not a good commercial.
Nope.
This commercial is all about how their editor just kind of dies sometimes and it doesn't save any of your work, and then you have to do it all over again after the video with a different mic, which is what we're doing right now.
Missiles.
Oh, and Combine.
Welcome to post-commentary.
Yeah, we're trying it.
It's probably going to be crap.
But, you know, what isn't that we do after all? Thanks for unsubscribing!
Be sure to hate, say nothing, unsubscribe, and don't tell anyone about... Oh my god, I forgot how bad you are at this game. Like,
I'm not that bad
You miss
at
everything. Stop in the middle of it and get sucked up by a tentacle butt.
Space butts? I'm pretty sure is what we decided.
It was like butt tongues.
Why did I hit that post?
And
good. I mean, 15th death right here, right?
Probably, something like that.
No, it is 15th. I checked.
No, good. Now
Don't
we know
worry.
for sure.
I know the important things. One health. That's my specialty.
No, balls of fire and avoiding them.
Hey, you know what? I was tempted to go through that wall of fire. I really was.
I forgot you died there.
But instead, I said, no, the game's probably telling me, turn the hell around. And so I did. Yeah. Aren't you proud of me?
Not an unreasonable assumption. And I'm glad you continued to explore after that, even if explore meant drive into dams.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes you just gotta drive into dams. That's what Cuba Gooding Jr. always says.
Yeah. Sure.
This part is a horror game. When? I don't know. He has.
Perhaps in the hit movie Snow Dogs.
Oh god, Snow Dogs! Oh!
Last time, to clarify again, last time we had about a 5-minute conversation about Snow Dogs, and we lost all of it. I was so mad.
I know. That was really, the only important thing that we lost was that conversation about Snow Dogs. I don't really care about any of the pseudo-intellectual commentary we made or any of the yelling that happened.
But to parallel, let's have a brief conversation about Kangaroo Jack, or this nice little thing that I talked about. That little alcove, kind of neat. I like the way they dump combines on you after you've already...
Yeah.
I love the way you drive into fire.
So remember that time when I said I wasn't going to drive into fire because I was a smart game player? Well, yeah, that didn't happen.
Nah, you at least saw the jump, you just missed it.
Yeah, I'm just bad. I'm not stupid.
Those combine don't drop down unless you go in there. It's like, oh hey, they saw you go in because you drove under their car, and they're like, well, let's get out of our car and try to kill him.
My problem with that is that it feels just a little scripted.
It is very scripted.
And because I played this section twice, voila, here it comes again.
Yeah.
I noticed that, and then I know that it's coming. If I had only played it once, it wouldn't feel scripted. Games are transparent that way, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, well, 2004 and all that.
Well, even now, I'm sure if
AI
I lost a save and I had to replay something, I'd be like, oh man, that was so scripted. But in the moment, it all felt pretty natural if it was presented in a reasonable way.
It is consistent with the rest of the Combine behavior as well, of like,
wait
for him to not be threatening, then attack.
Yes, I love that. And that's another reason why, to bring up those cameras again, why I kind of wish those cameras were present in more scenarios and brought more Combine at you. Mm-hmm. That would be pretty great. Because I do like the idea of you needing to kill them before a certain time, or else them guys
get hit by a car.
Hey, I took the secret passage this time because I'm so good.
Secret passage.
Secret! It's so secret!
It is a secret. Look at how stealthy you have been so far.
Look at this skateboarding. I'm like ramping off the side.
Tony Hawk's Pro Airboater 2012.
Kickflip!
420.
Kickflip 420. What? It's a loading screen.
No, yeah.
Do not show loading.
And sometimes
my heart actually skipped a couple beats because what's wrong? What's wrong with my computer?
Yeah, the video died. Oh, prepare everyone.
Oh yeah, this is
yourselves
good. This is real good.
For a continuation of his amazing puzzle-solving ability.
God. So, apparently, the way that I solve puzzles, as demonstrated in the last episode, is try the right thing, but not enough.
And wander aimlessly around, ignoring this crate.
Oh, it's even more obvious now that I'm watching it again. It's like, no, it's right there.
Like you could have installed this device that has things.
I did.
Almost gave
I
up.
feel like a horror movie.
I had to redirect him, and then
I took one out, just one, and then walked in the other direction.
Just that's it. You just put like the barrel last episode, like the boxes in the beginning. Just everything he does is just try the right thing, but give up.
You know what? I think if we did post commentary every time, I'd feel a little bit less bad about myself because at least I'd be able to do like meta self commentary, and that's fun.
Suppose.
Like I can make myself out to be a character rather than me. I'm much smarter than I was a week ago, right?
We have been commenting on the fact that it is hard to do discussion and also solve super difficult puzzles
like
at the same
that
time.
one. Did you see that? 2 bricks.
That was some Professor Layton shit right there.
I know. This is like a DS game.
Did you went backwards again, didn't you?
Brain age.
No, this is forwards.
I didn't go backwards.
I
That's
don't
one thing I
remember.
don't actually do that much is go backwards.
That's nice.
Yeah, I'm so
admittedly. Though this specific section of the level is not exactly conducive to knowing whether or not you're going forwards.
No.
It just takes some intuition.
Mm. This part was really fun. A lot of scripted combat. I do it a couple times, so be ready for lots of repetition.
Glorious failure.
But
and
the more times we see it, the more times we'll be able to say what's cool about the sequence, right?
Yeah, that's what we did last time. No, it isn't. All we did was bitch about Dutchie's handgun.
Dude, yeah, spoiler alert, pistols.
Yeah,
That's all I'm
prepare
saying.
your bodies.
Yeah, seriously.
And your hearts.
Man, their hearts are already
Your
prepared.
strength stat is really, really low, but your gumption is
man.
18.
I'd really like to play an RPG in which gumption is a stat.
Well, doesn't Kingdom of Loathing have Moxie? That's pretty close.
Moxie's close, but that's too much of a joke. I don't know.
Luck usually kind of covers the same thing.
But I never put points on luck.
Oh yeah, and then you just ignore the people and throw a health container around.
But look at what this gun does. Look at it.
Another piece of good Valve level design. I mean, okay, not necessarily good. A mistake that they avoided was giving you a weapon and then giving you a place where it isn't super fun to use that weapon. Instead, they did the standard thing of let's put the weapon in the fun place.
Mm-hmm. No, it's it doesn't make them unique.
No, it just makes them not mess up.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. They do a lot of good not messing up.
Mm-hmm.
They don't do a lot of, oh my gosh, wow, and we just have this game design euphoria. They don't do a ton of that, but they do a lot of things really, really right.
Really, really not wrong.
So not wrong.
You shoot the fence that's clearly showering you in bullets.
That fence, man!
That
it was
fence.
looking at me wrong. This guy. Yeah, nice!
That was
nice!
Snipe.
Sorry, I'm just proud of myself when I don't totally screw up.
Hide
in my little house.
Hooray.
When I look at this level, I have a weird impulse to want to live in it.
Oh, yeah,
I'm like, oh, I could make this into a little house. Like, I could put a little bed in there.
Because you are, a vagrant at heart.
I think I am, maybe. I mean, I certainly have that sort of physical appeal.
Well, it has the same appeal. It's the childish... You just pew pew.
I'm gonna shoot that box.
It's the childish, adventure-y kind of fort. Because it's a bunch of boxes that you could have open or closed and stack on top of each other. It's like building a spaceship out of crates.
Yes, and I love that. I did that in Argentina on top of a church once.
Yeah, that was great.
It was so good.
Space shuttle, particularly.
Oh yeah. So let's be fair. It was a space shuttle.
It shuttled us into space, but in the imagination.
All right, this room also is super cool. I die a lot because it's actually, I'm going to say this, I had a hard time with it.
Yeah.
I think it's more difficult than most of the sections that I had played up until this point.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say it's
a
hard.
difficulty spike because you can't go outside. You're never
Yeah.
safe.
And it's not a corridor, and there's not an obvious cover barrel that I can carry.
No.
And I probably miss these guys again. Oh, I don't.
Well, they're kind of done teaching you the game at this point. Not that
Ah.
oh yeah, you just forget about that guy this time around.
Wow, and then, might as well crowbar, because that's a thing.
I like that he comes back. I always like when enemies aren't static and reactionary completely. They have some initiative.
Mhm.
Just like a good hire.
Oh, the Combine have so much initiative.
They'd
They
be
have like an 18 initiative.
They'd be a good HR employee.
Okay, so Combine has HR employees. Like, I'm picturing, because HR, my first association is The Office, the television show.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just picturing The Office, but instead of Toby, or it is Toby, but he has a Combine mask on, and he just turns and he's like, or whatever they say.
Yeah.
And you know what he's saying, and you, like, complain about it. You're like, oh, come on, man, it wasn't sexual harassment.
Don't fire me.
Don't fire me, Combine.
This is actually just Gordon Freeman getting revenge on a large and elaborate HR department. He was fired from Black Mesa.
He was framed!
And this is fairly delusional at this point. These aren't, like, they're not armed.
They're not enemies. They're guys in suits with briefcases.
The bullets are metaphors for, like, their cutting words about his job performance.
No, they're dismissiveness.
Oh yeah. No.
They don't cut. They just say,
I don't know. I just feel like
there's
there's other people in your field that you need to work on competing with. That wasn't remotely.
No, you've clearly
gibberish
never
enough.
worked in HR.
I know my secrets are revealed. You found me out.
And now we can end, because now you all know that the wicked, awful truth about Winkle is that
I've never had
he's
a job in
never
HR.
worked in HR.
My life is a lie. All of it up to this point. Speaking of this point, this is about when quick saving becomes necessary, because again,
yeah.
before the HR rant, I was saying they've stopped teaching you tricks. This is the game, more or less. I mean,
Although
yeah,
I
sure,
still
there's
get
segments.
weapons.
They do give you weapons, and there are small segments built around each weapon. Some less small than others. At Ravenholm, that's not exactly. That's an entire segment around one thing.
Yep.
So
Here's another thing. When does the gravity gun happen? Because I know that's a
Ravenholm.
pretty big game changer in terms of what I can do with the environment and what I can manipulate for puzzles.
I don't know, maybe a third of the way, halfway through the game.
Because I feel like that's a pretty remarkable, here's a new thing that changes what you're doing.
After the end of Airboat Part 2.
Yeah.
But,
Okay.
I mean, it's spoilers.
Oh,
whatever.
Spoilers, get ready for more Airboat.
Oh, man, look out, everyone. Airboats
I
are making
almost
their
had
return.
it this time.
That would have been cool.
That
if
was
you
so
jumped
close.
over and kept, like, hopping and shooting dudes.
so close.
Anyways, no, this is the part of the game where the difficulty spikes up a bit because nowhere is safe. I've been trying to get those words out for like 5 minutes now. But hey, tangents.
Hey, it's video.
Because every angle in this room, like, there's not a ton of cover, there's enough cover. Like, there's crates and there's poles and you can hide under the balcony so nobody can... There's not, like...
But they can go like that!
perpetual fire. But the AI does maneuver around and get shots at you no matter where you are. As evidenced by his, constant and successive failure.
Mm-hmm. Although, I'm sure if I was, again, for the second time, and I'll probably end up defending myself like this more. If I was playing this game single player, I'd probably be, like, completely focused on where all the enemies are and freaking out about it all the time.
You'd probably be having this much trouble if it was on hard, and you were alone and not trying to be, interacting with another person the whole time.
Really, this game's failures are pretty thrilling. I don't feel like I'm being screwed over. Bar that incredibly unpredictable barrel exploding in that butt mouth.
It wasn't... Okay,
thing.
never mind.
I mean, like, just because sometimes I would duck and it would explode in its mouth and it'd be fine, other times I would die. It just seemed... but maybe that's just a simulation of shrapnel. Whatever. The encounters are pretty rewarding, and I feel like I could do something better after I fail.
The distances in the source engine are extremely static. It's just a damage... It's logarithmic. Like,
And I know that that's probably true. Like, it has to be, right? Like, it's programmed.
Ask Crackerjack for detail.
Oh,
You're talking about the static programming. I thought you were talking about explosions themselves.
No. I don't even care what real explosions are like. These are video games.
Video games should never be real, and the more real they are, the absolute worse they are.
That's not true.
Yep. No, it's absolutely... Everything bad in the world is real.
Wait. Everything bad in the world is real.
I'm just going to keep making sweeping statements about art here. Hold on.
No. What that means is that... Okay, never mind. too late.
You almost had a neat little setup there where you shot one each time.
I know. No, that's what I said in the last video.
This is also the point when we start mandating that he quick saves, because this part would have been over a solid 5 minutes ago. And quick saves aren't like the devil's instrument or anything. They're very useful and almost impossible to get through the game without. If at least, okay, I say the word impossible. It is more difficult and considerably more tedious. Yeah. Though, admittedly, kind of racing game-like in that it's like you just start perfecting because you know where enemies are and you know it's all fairly predictable. So you just hop around a corner and nail two dudes and you rush through and it's how speedruns happen.
Yep.
But it's not necessary to watch. Okay, it might be fun to watch him fail over and over, but
oh, it is.
Oh yeah, riveting television right here.
Well, bam, smacking barrels. Sorry, that was a box.
Nah, that's
object identification is my middle name. What?
More importantly, how did they get around in this warehouse before it was broken?
That's a good question. I'm gonna say they didn't. This is a warehouse for tall aliens.
Okay, sure. Striders?
Striders? Aragorns.
Yes.
I'm gonna call them that.
Wow.
You made me think of something interesting that I had this idea a couple weeks ago, and I think I asked you about it, but I'll ask everyone about it. There's quick saving is a great example of a thing that makes this game way easier, but kind of feels like cheating. If you quick save a ton.
Yeah. Like every
save scumming, of course, being the word for that.
Well,
if you save scum.
Save scumming is more manipulating outcomes, like
okay,
critical hits
that's
and
true.
stuff, and
that's
gambling machines.
Okay, that's fine. Then just save mashing, maybe, I don't know.
Being a dumb about quick saves.
Relying on quick saves for every bit of health and every bit of everything. That is a part of this game. Valve says, by presenting this game to you, quick saving is one of your tools. Mm-hmm. I shouldn't feel bad about that. And yet there's something about it admitting that it's a game that makes me feel bad about it.
Well, it's...
like, there's a gun in the game, and that doesn't seem like it's a problem.
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, then that's reasonable. It's much like there's 3 difficulty levels. Why wouldn't you play it on easy? It's easier. Why do people do hardcore no-death runs and, play Far Cry 2 like a roguelike? It's just, it isn't necessarily a rational decision in terms of, I just want to win the game faster and with less difficulty. It's an accomplishment thing. If you quick saving every, 5 seconds, it's the same self-handicap. Avoidance, I guess. It's not a handicap, it's the opposite of one.
Yeah, it's really an indication of priority. Do you want to just get to the end of this game and that makes you feel good? Then you'll probably quick save a lot and play on easy. Do you want a real challenge and to feel amazing after every fight? Then you probably aren't going to quick save as much.
Not as much.
You still will. Just because loading whole sequences again and again is just flat out boring.
It is rather boring.
But I don't know. I think there's an interesting we self-handicap, but we also can what would be the word, self-impose difficulty, which is pretty cool that we have that instinct. Like, well, I want to do something harder.
That's how Nuzlocke runs came along in
Nuzlocke.
Pokemon. It's the name of the guy who made a comic about it, of the hardcore Pokemon run. You catch the first Pokemon per route, and you if a Pokemon gets knocked out, it's dead. And you only get one chance to catch the first Pokemon, and that's it. It's really limiting and really, enjoyable if you're playing it. It makes it basically a roguelike. But the task at hand, instead of Pokemon games, that helicopter.
No, this is a metaphor for Pokemon.
I like that helicopter. Yeah, the victory here.
Take that.
Because it is basically an embodiment of this.
Sorry.
You really wanted to shoot that thing, which is indicative of how annoying the helicopter was. It was a moving, very, oh god, right, you just, yep.
And, again, Dutchie can't remember where his airboat is.
Can't remember where he parked.
I can't. This is a real problem. People have this problem all the time. Old people, but people.
Sure. The helicopter is indicative of this kind of always mobile, every angle. There is no safe spot, really. It's always just another, you have to keep moving and keep hiding and keep shuffling around and running into giant boats in order to stay safe, which is a nice way of summing up the rest of the game's combat, basically, because it doesn't get any easier from here on out. It just gets... You're running... That was my favorite death. You're running away less. You become more of an assaulter.
Yes.
In later bits.
And even in this small sense, I am always an assaulter. This game feels so different from a cover lock shooter like Gears of War or Rainbow Six or other games like that. You know them, where you just kind of hunker down and wait.
I also like how you completely missed that second machine gun for a while.
Yeah,
like,
I didn't even know it was there. I was like, he's out of my reach, I can't do it. Don't you worry, I do it right, but only a little.
And then flail about as you discover you can shoot while crouching.
Oh, it's such a great thing. The disembodiment thing gets a little more obvious, and it's really weird, but, whatever.
Yeah, well,
it's
whatever.
Fine.
Fine. It's basically the same as just crouching and holding your hand up and shooting, but...
Yeah. Well, we're about out of time. How are you guys doing?
Yeah.
You doing good?
Tell us about your day.
Yeah, it was work, honey.